log for the 13th of September. It's 12:33 in the morning in Tuesday, 2021. I had a big 40-ounce bottle of beer of Budweiser. And then I went back and I got another regular-sized beer at the supermarket. Good thing I didn't get the big Bud. And I just ate a bag of potato chips just because I haven't had it for a while. I like my salt and vinegar potato chips. And I got some corn chips to go with the salsa that I had. Now I have some corn chips. Just ate a small cantaloupe. Almost smoked weed. So my roommate had some weed, and I was like, well, should I smoke it? But he knows I'm trying to quit, so talking me out of it. It's been like, let's see, 20th of July was the last time I smoked weed. So, July, August, September. Oh, it's been less than 2 months. Oh, schnitz. So, almost 2 months. Wow, hadn't been that long. Yeah, but I don't have any desire to smoke weed. I was just gonna smoke it once, but that doesn't work. So yeah, I was working until pretty early, 4:30 yesterday morning, and then I got it kind of late, and I was working all day long. I was supposed to get the 1095-A form for my taxes, but I didn't get around to doing that. I was going to call them at my mom's house, and I did that, and they said go to your website, go to the web portal. So I'll do that tomorrow. Hopefully it's not that complicated. I'm eating Gatorade. I bought Gatorade the other month when I thought I was going to be riding a lot. And now I just eat it as munchy food. I bought 2 biggies. I have too much. I had a dream last night that I was in Boulder, but it was a different looking boulder. It was a boulder in the mountains yeah. And then I saw some woman who I'd never seen before in real life, some woman, and was gonna take me to her house to show me something, because something happened or something. It was a stranger I was maybe visiting, can't remember. Anyway, I for some reason, I don't know, it wasn't anything that she was doing, but I had suspected she liked me in that way, and I was but I didn't say anything or do anything. And then I get in the garage, she had a roommate or something, and then I turn around, she was naked. I just saw her butt for briefly, but then I turned around and can't remember what happened after that. And I woke up. Maybe I was talking to the person, but I don't remember my dreams, man. Maybe I should do my dreams. I should do my vlog in the morning when I get up. I should do it tomorrow. Anyway, kind of slowly, I guess. Jimmy coming back. Yeah, but said I'm working. But then my mom wanted me to take her to the hospital to get a colonoscopy. She's had 4 surgeries this week. Anyway, she doesn't like me talking about her. And then I went back home, and then I picked her up after a couple hours, and then I'm working until now, and I'm feeling a little bit groggy. I get tired when I drink. I've been drinking more this summer than I have for years, but I decided to get a beer today because I just started a new trajectory, and whenever I start a new trajectory, I drink, in commemoration. And, so I'm not going to drink tomorrow, though. Whenever I drink, it totally slows me down. It makes me go to sleep earlier. I don't stay focused as much, and I don't feel nearly as good. But so the work that I'm like yesterday, I built like before I built all of the tribes of the world, but like tribes of France because I'm doing France now, and then I even built all of the capital cities, including like multiple wall levels for a lot of them. Uh, in France, when the Celts founded their cities, they found a city and they make just a fort, and then when it turns into like an actual city, they expand the walls. Happened with Rome. Like first they had this thing called the Pomerium. I think it was a wall, and then they had the Severan Wall, and then they had the Aurelian Wall. So most cities, I think, do that. So I was just tracing a lot of those. I could see them, see the trail, the wall. But today I was tracing more of the ones that I didn't see before. I got more into it, but that's what that's what I mainly did before. And so yeah, last night until late, I was just going in and going into the city and yeah, making some of those walls, but doing a placeholder with the movie tool on Google Earth at 381 meters. Well, they do it by feet, I guess, because it's an American company, Google. Even though when you set stuff, the heights of things, you do it in meters, but when you're looking at it on the corner, it shows you in feet. So that's 1,250 feet. Is how high the high observation deck of the Empire State Building is, and I chose that because it's visited by a lot of people, and they see a view and they look around, and it's the best kind of common, well-conceived height. So I'm trying to make everything line up. I also have the Empire State Building and I have the entire New York skyline, every building considered a skyscraper, which is over 40 floors, I think. Or is it 26 floors? I can't remember. There's a certain height. It's like 500 feet or something. That's inside of the Exceed 4000 building that I made. And then I have the Burj Khalifa and the Empire State Building on my Atlantis. So, connecting things. So it's how high I have it hovered when you fly over to check out the roads within the whoa, holy shit. Freaking, I almost dropped the phone. A freaking, whatchamacallit bird. That big ass bird right there. Like a moth landed on my hand, hit my hand. For all the roads that go between the cities, and then, but I only did that with one of them, because yesterday I was spending the whole time doing the placeholder for 1,250 feet up above the city. And then you do a panorama. So then today I finished that for all 165 cities of the Celts in France, and I think there's 66 tribes, 165 cities that show up in the history books that have their own Wikipedia page. So then I started doing the panorama of the cities, where you look at, like, for the panorama of the tribe, which I already did a long time ago. You start out seeing all of France, and then you zoom in to seeing the whole city, the whole tribe, and then you zoom down to like a certain height, like 3,000 feet or something, and then you do a panorama, and then you go back up to the middle of it. So now I'm doing it where you, instead of starting out looking at all of France, you're starting out looking at all the tribe, and then you zoom into the city, and then you snap with the snapper that I made, placeholder, to the, I zoom into the city just by double clicking on the city, on the wall that I made with the polygon tool, the line tool. So it takes you down to maybe like 3,000 feet above the ground level. So then I hit the thing, and it snaps you to the 1,250 feet above. And then I go up and I do a panorama. And if the city's big, I kind of do a double panorama around the city. But And then I zoom back out and hit stop. So I'm just doing that over and over again. I think I'm on 30. Am I only on 30? I mean, something like that. Out of 165, so I'm only a quarter of the way through. So, but also at one point today I did download stuff from Envato because I try to download stuff every day because it resets every day and you can just download just by hitting download. You don't have to do any of the picture matching, which I don't do anymore. So I hit download and I got like the rest of them, like page 8, the beginning of 8 to 11. So whatever, 3 times 25, like 75, 80 of them. And it was 45 gigs worth. Downloaded pretty quick because I have gigabit internet, and then I put it on my external, which now has like 68 gigabytes. So I'll just do those until I fill up my hard drive, and then I'll dedicate like a day probably or whatever, how long it takes to backing stuff up and figure out where to back stuff up, and probably at that point buy another $110 5 terabyte hard drive to back up stuff again, back it up on 2 places, and then just collect everything that I need in Envato. And to conclude everything on Envato, I'll just delete things off of my 4 terabyte hard drive that can be doubled up on the other hard drives that I have. So I can have all of my Envato on 2 different hard drives. So I have 5 hard drives in total, but then I'll have 6. And then I have a card, 12 gigabytes, and then a bunch of others, like 4 other or whatever 8 gigabyte cards that, you know, I hold all of my Google Earth stuff on my website. That's the important thing. But then I have it on my server also on my Apple, which is 2 terabytes. So, so yeah, like, yes, today was my first full day with France. I kind of was like wasting time the first half of the day yesterday with trying to fuck around with like After Effects and then downloading stuff from Envato. So I guess I'll say a day and a half. But like today's Monday, first day of the week, I can now start doing it, counting the weeks. So I was telling Kirsten earlier today, I was like, maybe like it's 2 countries a week that I could maybe handle. That's what my goal would be in the beginning. Or my prediction. I don't really have goals. I call it a prediction. My only goal is to just work until you're done working. As far as time frames, it's just a prediction. You can't make a time frame goal. You can't control that. But yeah, maybe 2 weeks, because, you know, like I'm on 1/4 of the way through doing the panoramas of the cities, but after a day and a half, but then it'll probably take the entire day tomorrow just to finish the panoramas of the cities. And then after that, I have to trace on the road all the roads between the cities. And then make the videos, which doesn't take any time because you just does that automatically. You don't have to like trace it like with the panoramas. But yeah, making the roads is going to be a lot because you have to do roads between 165 cities. Haven't completely decided how I do that, but and then and then I'll be done with France. Oh, but then I have to there's other things I need to do. Like I need to collect all the data and just put it in the description part on the side, and then I can type that in when I do the videos. You just hit Control P, and it gives you an opportunity to do a description. It worked perfectly for my videos. It kind of squishes the sides in. It's not like rectangle colored shape anymore. It's more square, but whatever. Makes it so much quicker that way than to fuck around with After Effects. It looks good enough. There's another thing that I need to do, and I don't know if I'll jump in and do it now because it's kind of like another thing. But I have all the different maybe I will do it now just because it's interesting when I'm done. But I have all the battles of the world, but in history from Wikipedia, but and I have a lot of them. Actually, all of them. I have the images from the Wikipedia as well, and most of those have like the actual image of the battle. like a map that I then superimpose on Google Earth. You can download all this right now. But I haven't, and I only did one trip that Caesar did, like one day in a March, but I didn't do the entire trip through France, and that might be pretty easy because I think they already have it. In fact, I think I'm gonna Google it when I get home, get back in my room. But the entire 8-year campaign where he went and when he was there, along with the battles, I think, and everything that they mentioned where they go, I think I'm gonna include that too. I would have to include that before I do the videos, the screen capture videos on QuickTime. So I might do that, but anyway. So I'm hoping I can do France and England this week. So, like 3.5 days on one country, 3.5 on the other. Because France has a lot of detail. 165 Celtic cities, 65 Celtic tribes, roads between all the cities, really time-consuming panoramas for all the cities and all the tribes. And England is kind of roughly the same size. It's not quite as big as France, but it's roughly the same number of tribes. And these are like pre-Roman tribes that I got. And capital cities. And then I have to do it with Italy, which is just as big and detailed as France. So that's 3. So that's 1 week for France and England. And then another half week for Italy. Spain is detailed. So there's another week for Spain and Italy. So there's 2 weeks right there of just 4 countries. Another week just for England and America, if not more, because they're bigger. I mean, not England and America, Australia and America. Yeah, and then Germany has a bunch, but I guess that's it. And after I do that, maybe at that point, I'll actually upload all those to my new YouTube channel, which I'm going to create. I haven't created it yet, I don't think. Pretty sure, I haven't created it yet. Called Kyle Pound's Google Earth. And I'll just upload it all there with background music and everything. And, or maybe I'll do background music with overlay narration, maybe. That would be cool. Yeah, I should. But make it as layered as possible. But, and I even have it for every kingdom too, So I can include, battles. Like in France, like for Celtic battles, like the Roman battles, and Julius Caesar's campaign. I could do zoom-ins of the battles with the actual appearance of the battle, just tracing the images that I have superimposed on it. And the ones that don't have images, by then maybe I'll be practiced enough to be able to just build my own and figure out some way to actually illustrate the number of soldiers. I have a video of soldiers that I made with Google Earth, with Photoshop. Would have been a lot faster with After Effects, and I think I even had After Effects, but I didn't bother doing the tutorial. I just did it and it was a really slow computer with Photoshop, and it took forever, but at least I finished it and it looks good. So I'm going to go in and throw that on, and because I might do it super detailed, to show the exact number of soldiers for the battles. So I'll decide that, and then I can do the video. After I do that, do the video. So, maybe the goal will be, because I'm including the battles and the details of the battles to the person. Maybe I can be done with my tribes, early beginning of history tribes, and uploading the videos to YouTube by the end of the year. On first thought, this is crusted Gatorade. On first thought, that's worth it to me. That's worth my time. Second thought, it'll probably take that long. Because I'll have to do maybe, all the battles. I don't even know how many there are. There are a lot. And then, it's even, if I could do it by the end of the year, I'd be happy. It's even worth 6 months. But yeah, and then to upload all that kind of stuff into YouTube would be a very big sense of accomplishment. Um, and then because then I can practice with my Stream Deck, my studio again, because I can plug into the Stream Deck just the links to the videos. I don't have to put the videos on a hyperdeck or anything fancy like that. Click it right up into the freaking internet, YouTube. Yeah. So, yeah, and at that point, just predicting, say I could finish all that by the end of the year, which I don't think I will, but, maybe like by the end of February or whatever. At that point, because I've been working on Google Earth that long and I've been like fired up, I might like go ahead and just like fucking finish Google Earthing, the other things that I need to finish Google Earthing, because I'll be in Google Earth mode. So maybe for like the next 6 months at least, or 9 months, next 9 months, I'll just be in Google Earth mode, trying to finish the stuff that I started. I've done so much in Google Earth. It's like, let's just go another 9 months. One more 9 month push. Just see if I can finish Google Earth. So yeah, after that I might try to finish Google Earthing Rome, the entire history of Rome, based on what Livy says, and the stuff that I already have, like the Severan map. But and then finish Google Earthing a Boulder, historical Boulder, which I'm like almost done with. But then do the videos and upload all that to YouTube, which would be amazing. And then Boulder County, and then Boulder Rome, and then just whatever else that I have Google Earth, just straight up finish all of Google. I mean, it's worth a goddamn year. It's worth a year to me. So if I can get it done in 9 months, I'll be happy. So, yeah, and at that point, I could link that stuff to my website, not just upload it to YouTube, but to link the YouTube videos to my website, like the videos of the towns and the battles and stuff. And in Rome and everything, and Atlantis, because that's another thing. I have to finish Google Earthing Atlantis, and the Exceed 4000 building. That's another project. And then I got going on like nuclear bombs, a real location, as well as Atlantis. And when I upload the videos, put like a bunch of graphics maybe superimposed. And yeah, and at that point, I'm just kind of extrapolating all the things that I need to do before I can start working on my studio again. It's like another year, like a year from now, or even more than a year from now. At the end of 2022, beginning of 2023, I'll be here vlogging like, now I finally have time to figure out how to work my studio. I'm doing After Effects tutorials and ATEM Mini tutorials. But, because after I do all the Google Earth stuff, there's this other thing that I really want to do. And I was doing it actually at the beginning of the quarantine. So like a year and a half ago, I was doing this. I wanted to finish putting all the important books on my website. I only have maybe like a half dozen more. Ones from like the Enlightenment from the 1600s to put on there. And then there's this other project that I really want to do where you connect all of the historical books, because I'll have them all on my website and I can link them to like specific locations because it's my website. I can, because if it's your website, you can link it to specific locations by going into the code and making like a ref, you know what I mean? So anyway, like what each person mentions about the other person, because philosophers from history always like to reference other philosophers. So like have the links, have the top like a star next to where he references somebody, and make like a map chart. I already did it with I want to say Alex de Tocqueville, a French philosopher who inspired the founding fathers to write the Constitution.
he wrote a kind of like a thesis of like politics, and he was the best at referencing. So I have every one of his references linked. So I did it with one book, and it didn't take that long. And then there's this other project that I really want to do, that I started and got like a few days in or a week or so in, and that's my lineage. So you could click, you could go back in my lineage from the lineage website, and you can go all the way to the end line of every single one of my direct ancestors. So as soon as the line breaks, you just make a new list. So it's like intact lists. So each list is its own list. So there's lots of names mentioned multiple times because it's all on a different list. Like it makes a complete new list every time. It makes a new diversion of the tree line, family tree. So I don't know in the end how many that will be. Maybe off the top of my head, maybe 20, 30 or whatever. But I want to do that. I want to finish that because that's a fascinating thing. And I did find that I am directly related to maybe like a dozen kings, but one of them is. I told my mom, and she bought me the book, so I'll read the book. Actually, I should read it like a real book, like a famous king of Scotland. But I'm actually directly related to a Roman emperor, one of the final emperors of the Roman Empire, like in the 300s. One of somebody you like. I think it's Maxentius, if I remember correctly, the emperor who had battle with Constantine and like fell off the Milvian Bridge in the Battle of the Milvian Bridge and drowned on the Milvian Bridge. I think it's that guy. Yeah, direct descendant of him, so that's cool. Yeah, and I even have a Roman coin, so that's cool. I'm direct descendant of a Roman emperor, and I am an actual Roman artifact, so that's cool. But it has a drawing of the it has a stamp of the Colossus of Rome on it. So and on the other side a picture of like Marcus. No, not Marcus. It looks like Marcus Aurelius, but it's somebody else. Can't remember. Pius or somebody. I think it's one of the 5 good emperors. So yeah, and then of course after that I would have to, if I'm gonna do my vlog, and my vlog show, I would have to like not finish my website. Oh, and there's some things I have to fix on my website too if I'm starting to make money with it. I have to replace the images that I have from my Power of 10 page with actual stock images, because those are ones that I just grabbed off Google. I didn't like buy them. I have to fix that. And then on my timeline, I get screen captures of people's videos, and I asked for permission to use them with my website, and they didn't respond, and instead I got a warning from the next day from Flickr to tell me to remove photos that weren't mine, or else my account gets suspended. And I'm like, who? I asked 6 people yesterday, like who is it? But so anyways, like some of those ones that I can, I think I'll just copy what they have and make it my own, like use After Effects or whatever it is, Illustrator, to just make Photoshop or whatever program you need to make my own graphics of it and just replace that. But there's some that I can't replace with any good sense of like good quality. I don't think. Maybe I could. Like the evolution of Golden, and then the Ice Age in Summit County, which I really like. And I think the Summit County one and the Golden one were like CU. So you could be like, wait, that's like publicly funded. It was like the geology department or something. But yeah, but then like in my timeline, like if I'm gonna use my timeline for my TV show, I'm gonna have to fix the links for it, where you click across. Like I have a horizontal timeline and then a vertical timeline. I have to fix the links where everything you click on the horizontal part takes you to the vertical part, and then you click the vertical part, takes you back to the horizontal part. And that's a good way to like practice your history knowledge, maybe test your history knowledge. I need to figure out a test. I think I just thought of that now. That you can grade yourself based on my timeline, because it's a perfect like flip card type of test, memorization test, for grading. Yeah, I'm gonna write a page for that. But anyway, I'm gonna have to finish that, but just for Rome, not the whole world. But I might go ahead and just do the whole of it. Like the rest of what I have in my timeline. So I might just go ahead and work on my timeline. And then, yeah, at that point I should be ready to. But I'd be so far ahead on by then. I'd be like, fuck it, let's just finish everything. So then I want to finish my Google Earth page. I mean my YouTube page on my website, where I have all the YouTube videos, because it's like hasn't been even like fixed for years. Like a bunch of them were deleted, and I haven't even taken those off. So like, and add new ones that I've done. So go and fix that page, and then that'll motivate me to start doing more videos. And then but that whole process, yeah, to be realistic, that'll be like another 2 1/3 years just on that, because it adds up. Like each thing I'm mentioning, like that's like a week's worth of work. Each one, like, if I'm like, oh yeah, my ancestor list, it's like a month. Or what if I'm like, oh yeah, well, Google Earthing Rome, it's like a month, at least. Google Earth Boulder Rome could be a lot, like a couple of weeks. Any one of those things, finish putting the rest of the books on my website, like that's a couple of weeks, like a month or a couple of weeks, you know what I mean? So it's just like month. 36 months is 3 years. I have 24 months plus September, October, November. Yeah, so 27 months. So 27 months, dude. Yeah, I'll fill up that whole 27 months for all the stuff that I'm talking about. Because it's like 6 months just on these like Google Earth stuff for the towns and the tribes. So yeah, so like by the time I'm 50, I'll probably by then have to. I'm planning by the end of the year to, at the end of the year, maybe like a New Year's resolution thing, my birthday, to start going to the gym like a week and a half, about an hour a day, just to try to keep myself maintained. And if I start to get like old, and I'm not even done, I'm still working, I'm like old now, I'm like 50. And if I start to get like white hairs on my chin, in order to feel young, I'll get in my like magnifying glass and I'll just pick out all the white hairs that I can see. It'll be like my new way of like popping zits, I don't have zits anymore, but now I can like pluck white hairs out of my chin. Because I'm getting like the white hairs in my chin. So, and that'll keep me like feeling young psychologically, I'm reading Seth. I was reading 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, and I have a few more hours because I paid for it. I want to finish it, but I'm listening to Seth, Jane Roberts' Nature of Personal Reality, and they're talking now about how like your mind can affect the weather, and also your mind can affect your body. So like just so it's like psychologics is really important, has a lot of power. And so I need to figure out how to like stay fit without exercising. And hopefully start exercising like an hour a day, but try to feel young, psychologically. And the best way for me is just to keep those white hairs out of my chin whenever they come, if they start coming like next year or so. So anyways, that's what I'm up to. That's like a rundown of everything. That's what I'm gonna goal. Maybe I'll remember this is the day that I kind of gave a prediction, because it's fun to make predictions and then see how accurate you are years later. So, I'd love to make a web page in the future where I can like do links. I don't know if they'll have it by then, but where you can link to a certain part of a video. You'd be like, here, I predicted it'd take this long. Here's how long it actually took. And maybe I could make it a line and be like, correct. Yeah, but then there's another thing with my website. I mean, my timeline that I might want to do, and that would be future timeline. That'd be fun to do future timeline, because with the catastrophics of the world, you know, I could predict that the Great Salt Lake is going to completely dry up in 30 years. So I'll be 47 now, 57, 67, 77. So by the time I'm like my mom's age, the Great Salt Lake's going to completely dry up. And then in 40 years, Florida's going to completely disappear underwater. So that's when I'll be like 87. And but then I can make a prediction like another 50 years after that is when they come back. That's my prediction. And maybe even my lifetime, go disappear and then come back. I think that the Great Salt Lake is going to completely disappear. But then we're going to get our shit together and we're going to plant trees everywhere. And all the trees are going to add all of this oxygen to the atmosphere. It's going to create rain clouds. So much rain that it's going to fill the Great Salt Lake back up again. And I don't know if we can reverse like global warming, but losing a lot of land to the sea, we will also reclaim a lot of land to places that are now uninhabitable because there's too much like ice. Like we could reclaim Greenland, Antarctica, and like Siberia, and like maybe it'll be a little bit hotter, so we can't like survive in the Sahara, but then people could survive there just in air-conditioned buildings or something. And then we could cool the earth back down again and maybe even bring the ice back from like reversing global warming. Because conceivably you could. We do have the power to do that. You just go all, no more carbon emissions. We all become vegetarians, so no more like farting cows. Maybe even reduce the population a little bit. Bring, so reduced carbon emissions with electric cars and stuff. And then increase oxygen by planting weed everywhere and plants. And then that kind of makes it cool again, and then we can actually control it with our will, and bring the ice age back, and maybe the ocean will then go down again, and we can then re-inhabit buildings that were underwater before. But anyway, all that kind of stuff is cool to put on like a future timeline, which I have set up. So it's good to do that just to see how like accurate you are later, or like your ancestors, see how accurate you were. So I want to do like a template for my timeline, so it can be blank, so other people can like use it to build their own predictions, make it like a thing to do. So yeah. So as it is now, I'm thinking 2 countries a week. So by next Sunday, I'll be happy if I'm done with France, and England, prepping them, to get uploaded. I don't know about the battles, and maybe even the battles. Because if I prep the battles for those, that means they're ready to upload. So so if I could have them even uploaded by the end of this week, that'd be cool. So anyways, that's my goal. Talk to you tomorrow.